Today, with the second and third movement, I wanted to show you a little bit how Beethoven manages to make a piece as a whole. He uses elements from the first movement in the second movement without really you knowing. The theme at the beginning is this. So if you'll remember from the first movement, it was this. So long notes and then short notes. And if I play in the same key, it's very close to this. It's not that obvious, but it's obvious enough to enter in the subconscious and to make the piece feel as one big whole unit. The beginning also, the accompaniment of the first movement, and the first bar of the second movement with the theme. A very beautiful, simple theme. In fact, the whole second movement is short and is a little jewel in this sonata. The nice thing about chamber music and the duo with violin and piano is the opportunity for both of us to play the theme. So when I get it, it sounds this way. The same notes, but different instrument and different accompaniment. As I go on with this theme, I get to this this little decoration. Where does it come from? Right, taken from the first movement, the first theme. The second movement is basically an A-B-A form. The A being this two presentations of our theme, and then there's a B section which is a little bit of a kind of a development with this element in it. Little interventions, short. Where do they come from? The same thing, but inverted. And then, to separate the B section from the return of the A section, he has something very curious. Where does this come from? Why all of a sudden this kind of a martial feeling? Surprise, surprise. If you remember the second theme of the first movement, it's so this is it. Virtuosity in this beautiful theme. And then the violin gets it again, but with one different note. Instead of a D natural, I have a D flat. changing just one note in the theme gives a different color and a different atmosphere. I play the theme through, and then we have an ending section. And the ending section sounds like this. Recognize it? First movement is N. And this is N. Just an element to again remind one of the first movement. He's used this, and then he finishes with something also taken from the first movement. If you remember, at the end of the development section, after the torment, or after the storm, there's this, what I call the trill, just this very simple repeated note that sounds like this. And this was just announcing the return of the theme in the first movement. And here at the end of the second movement, he has this. So just that very simple little trill that you won't really know where it came from, but somewhere in the subconscious it's there. And to finish it all, a very simple variation of the first theme. Exchange between us. In sonatas that have 4 movements, there is often a contrasting Menuet and Trio. So there's the first movement, which is the meat and potatoes, the second movement, which is beautiful and lyric, and then this kind of light joke often, and causes it a scherzo, which is usually faster and even more humorous. What does he do? He uses a little bit of theme of the second theme in the first movement, which was, but just this element. So it starts like this. It's so cute. And then, to add a little bit of humor, when I join Catherine, I don't play with her, but I play one beat off. So there's always an odd displacement. One of Beethoven's also favorite tricks. And then there's a contrasting trio section, which he uses as a virtuoso element. And then he returns back to the minuet, the scherzo, with the same good-humoredness. That's how the third movement, the contrasting Menuet and Trio, in this case scherzo and trio, finishes and provides a beautiful transition to the fourth movement, which we might just record as well.